Okay guys, it's an exciting time. It's spring. I kind of missed a little bit of the bloom here. This is a bush cherry. It's hard to tell, it's kind of here, but most of the bloom is done. But this is one of the first little plants or bushes that I have that bloom, and it makes a nice long, let's get over here and look at it. Each branch is filled with all these blooms, bush cherries. And you can see the little cherries starting to form right here. Sorry about the geese over there. But yeah, this is one of the first plants to start blooming that I have. So this is that. Right over here you can see the pawpaws are starting to bud out too. I'm getting a pretty good amount of blooms here. This here, and of course the citrus are starting to bloom. This is the precocious Trifoliate. It's one of the first citrus out here that started to bloom and bud out very early. I did a bunch of grafts on this this failed plant here, this rootstock. I've got Prague citsuma. I've got a bunch of them, and we'll follow through. I'll keep up with these, and I'll keep you posted on how they do. This is my Karaji's doing real well. He's starting to bud out here, and this is it's kind of a rare one. This is an orange times Yuzu times Trifoliate. See, here's the Trifoliate leaf. Yeah, this is the tree. Got a bunch more grafts here. And let's look at some other trees. This is a jujube graft I did. This is a honey jar. Honey jar. And looks like it took. You could kind of see it trying to bud out right there. So we'll keep an eye on this. I just did a regular cleft graft on these. Yeah, a lot of the grafts I did this early spring are cleft grafts because they're none of the bark splitting. Well, at least for citrus, but for these other ones mainly just cleft grafts. Like in my pawpaws too, I do cleft grafts. I may have lucked out with my loquats. Usually they don't fruit here unless you bring them in and they're potted. But we had a pretty mild winter, and looks like some of these fruit are still hanging on, green. And a lot of times they will do okay, and then hang on for a few weeks, and then we'll get this like new growth like this, and then it'll forget about the fruits that it's holding on to, and then just drop them. So hopefully, even though we'll have some new growth, I'll hang on to the fruit. Here's one right here, looks pretty cool. This one is champagne, or at least it's supposed to be champagne loquat. I've got a few others here. I'm gonna graft some other ones too, but there's my champagne, and I want to try this fruit out. Hopefully they hang on. On the front, I've got a big gem, and it's got a lot of fruit on it, looks like, and hopefully those will hold on. Now we're at my Sanguina Doble. It's got a ton of blooms getting ready to bloom. The buds are blooming, forming. So here's a bud, there's a bud, there's tons of them. My glen doesn't look real great right now, but I see there's a lot of growth, so it's gonna be fine. And I did a bunch of grafts here. This is a Sudachi graft, hopefully it'll take. And these are the Sanford Curifora grafts. What else we got here? My Tri, it's looking kinda, hasn't done much yet, so we'll see how it does. But Okay, so this branch I'm kind of moving around on here. This is my citsuma, so pretty cool. This year looks like it's gonna have a lot of fruit. See all the little buds here. I don't know if you can tell. There's a bunch of buds there. There's a bud here and here, and there's a ton of them. So I'm expecting to get a lot of fruit this year. So we'll see. My Ichang somehow still has not recovered from that freeze. It did fruit. It is mature. Maybe it's just taking a while, but almost all the growth here looks just like vegetative growth. Doesn't look like there's any flower buds. So I don't know what happened, and I just want it to fruit. I really want to get these fruit again. So this is the Ichang lemon, and mostly just vegetative growth. Disappointed here. But right next to it we've got my citsuma, which looks like it's going to give me a good amount of fruit this year. Alright, so welcome to the jungle, guys. This is the greenhouse. I was looking at my plants, just checking everything out, and look here. This is my Cedar Bay cherry that I got recently, and look, I had a bloom that I missed. It's right here, and I'm hoping that I'll get a fruit this year to try out. Here's the fruit. I mean the flower, or it was, and I'm pretty excited about that. So we'll see how that goes. And let's take a look at some other things. I've got something to show you. Just down the way here. Well, if you guys remember that Nakhon tree I have with the one big giant fruit, here in my greenhouse, walked in and guess what was on the ground? This fruit. It's pretty huge. Probably weighs about 5 pounds. And I'll bring it in, and then we'll look at it. It smells great. This has a cool scent to it. But man, look at this. Sorry about all this, the scale on it, but anyways, look at this. It's like you're looking. It's like you're going over a planet or something. It's so huge. But so, like, here's my hand, and there's the fruit. It's pretty heavy too. I'm pretty impressed. Let's see what else we got. Hard to tell really what's going on in here, but this is my rose apple, and you can see a bloom. Here's a set of blooms getting ready to bloom. That's pretty cool. Rose apple. Here's this, and it's got a really awesome bloom to it when they bloom. It's just like a burst. Oh, here's one right here. Look at this. Here's the here's a bloom that's finished, and I'm hoping these will hang on to fruit. These are good fruit. They taste like really mild, like a fruit that with a mild rose apple, a rose kind of taste to it. And look at this right here. I'm seeing this right now. If you can see these blooms, these are Cosquava. Oh man, this is a Cosquava, and I got some blooms right there. Exciting again. It's a cool time of the year. See how what's blooming and all. So let's see if there's more blooms forming. Oh, here's some right here. Oh, look at that. Some right there. So I'm pretty excited. We'll keep you posted on the development of these fruits. This is a Fukushu kumquat. One of my favorite, or probably my all-time favorite kumquats. These are so, I don't know, I just love eating them like whole. They're mild. Got like a little spice to them actually though. They're not sour. That's what I mean is by mild. They're not sour or anything. But they do have a little spice to them. They make all kinds of fruit. This is an awesome tree to have if you like kumquats. These are like giant Iowa kumquats sort of, but more fleshy and I don't know, just more enjoyable since they're so big. So here's the Fukushu. Now this is kind of a rare, really rare tree. This is called a black twig lime. It gets this name because of these, I guess the spines on the tree. They actually end up turning black after a while. It's pretty cool. It's a really mild lime. It's actually kind of sweet. This is one right here. And later on we'll do a little taste testing of this too. This is a great fruit. We'll just pan over to this one. This one's a real rare one. This is called an Amoa. It is like a blood mandarin type thing. So here's this one. Really cool, really rare. And this guy right here, this little guy actually is my blood mandarin. And I've got a lot of blooms forming, buds forming, so we'll get a bunch of fruit off of this guy too this year. This right here is my Lakeland kumquat. Or limequat, excuse me. This tree has all kinds of fruit on it. It's a little bitty tree, but it's got all these fruit. Like a nice little lime substitute. So, oh, there goes one right here. So we'll maybe try this out later. So, got a few rare things here. This is called a Sweet Betty orange. This is one I got from Stan McKenzie out in South Carolina. It's supposed to be a cold hardy type of orange. I haven't really grafted it out yet. I've had it forever. I need to just to test how hardy it is. This is one of the fruit. Maybe we'll look at one of these. And I forget what the story is. I think it's something like this lady had this tree, potted tree on her porch or something for years and years and years, and just seemed to have survived all kinds of cold weather. So that's the Sweet Betty orange. And what we got here, oh, this is called a Lee Sharp 7-degree kumquat. This one's supposed to be really cold hardy too. So here's the fruit. I think it's I believe it's a Iowa, but he planted out in his yard, and it's survived at least 7 degrees. I think he's out in Mississippi. I visited him one time. He has a nice setup over there. And what we got here, this is Orange Frost. Orange Frost Changsha. Got one fruit on it right here. It's probably totally overripe, but I haven't picked it yet. So here's this. This is the Changsha times Satsuma crosses that are supposed to be hardy. So I do have a one that out in my yard that's been surviving okay. It's the bumper version, bumper. So there's that. This right here is a blood lime. You've seen my blood limes before. So here's that one. Now this tree right here is Indio mandarinquat. So it's pretty similar to Nippon orange quat. Here's fruit right here, and here. These are kind of sour. Not real fond of them. They're pretty good. I mean, they're all right. I like my precocious a lot better. So here's this tree. This one is called Sanguina Doble fina. It is a pigmented orange. When you slice this open, this is an orange. Slice it open, and it has like a nice, almost kind of, it's got flecks of like red pigment in it. Like it's sort of a blood mandarin or blood orange, but not quite. But they really got great flavor on them. So it hangs on the tree quite well too. There's this section of the tree. The rest of it here, this is a grapefruit. This is marsh grapefruit. So I may have to cut back some of this marsh and force some growth to this Sanguina Doble fina. So what happens if you multi-graft trees like I do sometimes, one of the sections is going to overtake the other section. So early on I did a lot of multi-graft trees, but now I just try to do single graft trees because it's just hard to keep everything balanced.